Hey gardeners, it's Rhonda, Florida Garden Gal, and today I'm going to be reviewing a product that was sent to me. It's the WorkPro 7.5 by 4 by 2 foot galvanized raised bed in black. I'm going to show you how to put it together, and then I'm going to give you my feedback on what I think the quality of this product is. And if I really like it, I'm going to add a link in the description below so you can order one too. So let's get going. So here's how it arrived in the box from Amazon. Not too heavy. I probably could have carried it by myself, but I didn't want to stress my back. So I had my husband help me carry it over to this location. Now, speaking of location, I chose this location because it is near the other raised beds that I have, and it does get full sun. It's a little less than ideal that I have a fruit tree right there, but I'm not certain the fruit tree is going to stay there, so I'm okay with that. And it's also very level ground, and I can get water to it. So those are very important considerations when you're putting your bed together, is where are you going to put it? How much sunlight do you get? How level is the ground? And can you get water to it? So let's open it up and see what we've got. My first tool, a pair of scissors. Yes, you could use a box cutter, but this is what I had handy, so this is what I'm going to use. You know, women use different tools than men. A man would have really taken the time probably to go get box cutters, maybe some women too, but I do find women most often use what's handy. The scissors were handy. Okay, the scissors were handy, but I would probably recommend getting a box cutter. All right, so what's in the box? Already, I'm really impressed that they sent a pair of gloves to put this together with. That's fantastic. And of course, instructions. Now, I know a lot of us just like to dive in and not read the instructions because maybe you've done something similar to this before. You know, we've all bought furniture in the past that we had to put together. But I highly recommend start with the instructions. Read through them, just like they say with a recipe that you're making for the first time. Read through the recipe so you're familiar with it, and then follow the recipe or follow the instructions as you go along. So we have the instructions, and we have these rods that are nicely packaged individually in these little styrofoam things. So already I'm impressed with their packaging. They didn't spare any expense on that. And then we have these boxes. Let's see what's in these boxes. Back to the trusty scissors. All right. So it's some more parts and pieces. Having not read the instructions, I have no idea what these pieces are. There were 2 of these boxes with the same kind of pieces in. And well, I've really got to show you how well this is packaged. Don't know if you can see, it actually has wing nuts in on a piece of wood. So if the quality of their packaging is any indication of the quality of this product, I know I'm going to be impressed because I'm very impressed with the packaging. So before I take that apart, I'm going to go over the instructions and see if there's any special tools I'm going to need. Okay, so the tools they say that are included are the gloves, a 12mm wing nut driver, and not included an electric drill. And the safety information does mention that the metal may have some sharp edges or corners, so that's why you need to use the gloves. So let me go get the other tool that I'm going to need, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I went and got the drill. It says this will be used at the end, so we'll go with that. And I located the other tool that they included here, which is called a wing nut driver, which is in this little package. I went ahead and removed the wing nuts from the piece of wood that was included in the packaging, this piece of wood, and I read through the instructions. Now, I will say, one of the things the instructions do say is that 2 people are recommended to put this together. So if I find I'm having trouble, I may end up going and getting hubby to come and help me do this. And the other thing the instructions do say is that it's highly recommended to put it together where you're going to use it, that it may be a little difficult to move afterwards. So we got to keep that in mind. So the instructions say to get the pieces out of the box, to remove the wing nuts from these panels, and to remove the protective coating from each panel. So I do see there's a piece of plastic on here, and that we're going to need to remove this piece of plastic. This might be a good time to be wearing gloves, because I can already tell some of these edges are a little sharp. But if I'm not using my fingernails, I'm not sure how I'm going to get this plastic film off. There's nothing in the instructions that tell you an easy way to get this plastic film off. So I'm going to just work it off with my fingernails and hopefully eventually find a place where I've got the corner off and can start pulling the plastic off. I think I'm almost getting there now. I'm just working it on this upper edge up here where I was able to peel back one of the corners. This is going to be a little bit of a time-consuming part here to pull all the plastic off of these panels. But again, it's part of their packaging, which I'm very impressed with, to keep the product safe and secure and not getting damaged in the shipping process. So yeah, I was able to get that going off of one of the corners, and now I can pull this off, pulling it down. But at this point, I am going to put the gloves on because those edges are sharp and I don't want to get cut today. These gloves don't seem like much, but they've got some little extra padding in the fingertips, which is going to be a good thing. So I'm going to tell you, taking this plastic off has not been the easiest job. It's really taken me, I'm sure I've been at this for over 30 minutes. I'll check the timestamps later and let you know. And I've tried different ways of taking it apart. I will say I don't have to have my fingernails. The gloves are fine. And what I have found is a good way to do it is get a part going off of the long edges and each side, and then get some going off of the top, and then start rolling it down. And the wind picked up, and here it is. I've got all of the 2 long sides and a short side all pulled off, and now I'm going to lay it on the ground and I'm going to show you how I'm going to take off the rest of it. So there we go, plastic all off of all 6 pieces. Time to move to the next part. Okay, I've got the plastic film off of all the panels and off of the center pieces and the corner pieces. And I've laid all the pieces out kind of in the order that they're going to be assembled, with the end pieces and the side pieces and the center pieces and the corner pieces. And opened up all of the wing nuts and put them into this box that was part of the packaging so they don't get lost in this mulch. Now, according to the directions, we are firstly to thread the first bolt AA to the straight panel A, post B, and support bracket G, then secure with a wing nut by hand. Do not tighten the bolt AA and wing nut completely. So I've got the first panel in the corner, and you take one of the bolts from the outside to the inside. And maybe this is why they suggested 2 people, one to hold it and one to do this. But we'll do the best we can. I just dropped one of the wing nuts. Hopefully I find it in this mulch. I'm sure I will. Maybe they gave extras. We'll see. And this is why they say to only loosely do it, because I'm having to move this panel up and down a little bit to get this to go through. Okay, I think that was step one. Let's move on to step two. Where are the directions? In my back pocket. Do the first one, then do the second one, and repeat through the third and fourth bolt. Fourthly, thread the fifth bolt. Oh, okay, so this we have to redo. Yes, we have a support bracket that was supposed to come in with that last bolt. Okay, so that last step was to add this little corner bracket and attach it, and then attach the wing nut, which is what I'm doing right here. And as you can see, I do have an extra pair of hands in the distance. Okay, so now we're going to attach this into there. Definitely a lot easier if you have an extra pair of hands, especially in this wind where things want to blow and cause problems. Okay, so we're ready for the rest of the bolts and wing nuts on this side. So when I attempted to go to the next hole down from where I was working, things were not lining up. So I decided to put the other end one on first, and then the middle ones will line up. This is actually upside down right now, and what's in my hand is the top. So I will say it is a little wonky to try to hold these panels and screw them in by yourself. I'm so glad hubby showed up. So if you have someone that can help you, it's probably a great idea to ask them to. And as you can see, we're getting there. Got the two ends together, two of the sides, one part of another side. So we only have one panel left to add to this, which I think now, before they're completely screwed together, we've got to get them in place for where it's really going to stay. Because the directions do say it's hard to move once you have it together. So I'm going to move this piece over here. Ooh. And it's actually upside down because this little piece has to go in on the ground to get a stake through. I think it's going to go about like this. And once the other side gets put on, this will be a little more stable. But you can see the wind is definitely affecting putting it together. I've waited for a day that wasn't so windy, but we just had so many windy days lately that I just said, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with the wind. One more here, and then I'll be ready to put this side on. And the other end already has the sides on it. And then we'll talk about the side supports. If a friend of mine was asking me, did I think they could put this together? And let's say it's a friend of mine who isn't all that handy, I would say, yes, I think you could do it. Definitely get somebody to help you do it, and watch this video step by step, and you'll see the process. Because sometimes people have a hard time just reading and understanding directions. They're visual learners. So thank goodness in this day and age we have visual learning. At this point, I'm honestly thinking it took longer to take all that plastic off than it's taking to put this together. All right, so we got the center bracket in. This was definitely where I needed a second pair of hands. My husband was instrumental in getting this together. Um, the first thing was, I thought maybe this center bracket went on the outside because it was painted black. But he was right. We referred to the instructions, and it goes on the inside with this little clip coming over, and you attach the bolt from the outside, one of these support brackets, which you can see we don't have them tightened in too much yet, and a wing nut. This is another one of those situations where I highly recommend start at the top, go to the bottom, work your way back to the middle, and try to find a day that's not windy, because the wind has been difficult to work around. And as you can see, there are these little shelves almost that these can fit on, which helps you when you're trying to work on one side and you need something to support it on the other side while you're getting it together. That was a very clever thing that they did in this construction. Not sure that's why they did it, but it's been helpful. Sometimes the wing nuts are a little hard to get started and you drop them. With this project or any project you're doing, just don't get frustrated. Just keep working, keep a happy face, and it'll come together. So here I'm going around with my drill, which is also a WorkPro product, come to find out, and I am using the little adapter that they supplied and going around and tightening up all of the wing nuts. This would not be something that I think you would want to do by hand. I think having the drill to do this really made the project much better. So the project's complete. The raised bed is here. It's really quite sturdy. I mean, I don't have anything in it yet, and I feel it's very secure. I think those middle brackets are definitely a great feature to keep it sturdy, plus the stakes that went down in the corners inside. I like that it has these corner brackets that are plastic to keep the sharp edges off. This top edge, I'm very comfortable with working around that, running my fingers through it. I'm not feeling I'm going to get cut at all. I love the black color. Earlier when we were putting it together, I felt of the inside, and even though this is black out here, I didn't feel like this was super hot on the inside. Maybe helps that it's white inside. This is south facing, and when we were putting it together, it was midday by the time we got to all the parts. When we're filming things, it takes a little longer. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was super hot for that. I picked black because the color choices were white, green, and black. And as you can see, I have red in my other beds and in my chicken coop, but I also have black on my shutters on the front of my house. So I felt like black was the best choice, and who knows, maybe I'll paint that other stuff black at some point. But it's so sturdy. I'm very impressed with how sturdy I feel this is, even empty. And I feel like once I get it filled with some tree branch debris, some tree mulch, and some garden soil, that it's really going to hold up. And that's something we need in Florida with our high winds and hurricanes. And it's got to stand up to the heat and humidity too. So overall, I'm very impressed with this product, and I'm going to leave a link in the description below. So if you'd like to order one, you can get one off of Amazon. And please, if you've had this product already, if you've had this WorkPro 7.5 by 4 by 2 galvanized raised bed, let me know what you've thought of it. I think it's a great product. I'm anxious to get it filled up and get some stuff planted. I hope you found this video useful. So until next time, happy gardening.